everybody, it's Susie with Susie's Crochet Chat, a place where we talk about yarn, hooks, tips, tricks, everything in between. Today's video, finally, I'm getting this done. I want to explain how to read a pattern. And I'm going to be looking at my notes a lot, so if I'm not looking up at you, you'll understand why. But it's really important, you know, when you're crocheting or doing any craft, you should know how to read the instructions. So patterns, same thing. I learned how to read a pattern years and years ago because that was the only way to actually crochet. Unless you had your grandmother showing you the steps right there. That's what I had. My grandmother showed me. But at the time we lived in New York, my grandmother was in Pittsburgh. So I only got to do that in this one summer. She was crocheting, making blankets. And so when I got home, I had no clue what to do. I kind of forgot. I was young. I was like maybe 8. I don't even remember. It was, you know, I do remember the chain stitch, you know. Oh, you know, we could do a chain. That was really maybe the single crochet, maybe. But then I never did anything with it until I was in my 20s and I bought some books. That was the only way at the time to do anything. So it also had illustrations in that book of how to actually make the stitches. So as far as reading the pattern, it was getting a little bit confusing for me, I have to say. But I was able to make a blanket. I did that. I didn't do other things because I was very intimidated by the patterns. So then years went, you know, a few years went by. Well, maybe 20 years went by because I don't think I picked it up until I was in my 40s again. And I started again at that time doing the blankets, trying to read the pattern. Well, then later YouTube came out. And at that point, you didn't need to be able to read a pattern. You could listen to someone with the tutorial showing you step by step by step what to do. That was great. I was whipping out stuff like, woohoo, I can make anything. And it was wonderful. But as you get better at something, you still want to do it the old-fashioned way. You want to be able to read that pattern. You want to be able to look at it and not have to rely on somebody showing you every step of the way. And so then I was looking at patterns again, and they made sense to me. And, you know, I was learning. So I want you to be able to do that too. So I wrote down some things. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to be, and it's not, I mean, it's going to be as intricate as I can do of what I feel was important bullet points to read a pattern. So, first things, when you are reading a pattern, they will give you a material list. So they will tell you hook size, yarn weight, and yardage that you need so that you can purchase what you need. It'll also tell you the notions you need, such as like stitch markers, tapestry needle, tape measure, scissors. If you're doing amigurumi, it'll tell you how much, you know, polyfill you might need. Whatever you might need to go with that project to get it done, it's going to tell you. Also, there will be a little section that will tell you the abbreviations of what the crochet abbreviations are, such as like CH for chain, D, C, double crochet, whatever it is, that will be there. It will also give you a gauge. So it'll tell you how many stitches it should take and what the measurement is. If you did a gauge, you know, to make a little swatch to make sure that the tension is right. I never really do much with the gauge, and I've never had a problem with it, but it's important to know. So that's important, that's in there. Okay, there's also another spot that has the special instructions, such as if you were doing a bobble stitch or a V-stitch, it'll tell you how those stitches are done. And sometimes there's there's pictures and figures that'll go with each step of the way so that you're able to make sure you're doing things right. Let me see here. Okay. I've made so many mistakes on this video, it's not even funny. So if my husband's great at editing, but if it looks a little weird, it's me. Anyway, I did forget to say, and I want to in the patterns, and I'm using this book that I actually was one of the first books that I had to learn how to crochet. This book, and I'm thinking I can use it and not have to worry about copyright because it's so old. Maybe the people are dead. I don't know. This is how my mind is going. But anyway, in this book, it did give you all how to do the stitches. Okay, it was really a book how to learn how to crochet. So after that, it had a couple easy patterns. So as I said, it tells you the materials that you would need, the gauge. On this one, it's a vest, so it has like sizing and things of that sort. So the first thing in the pattern is going to tell you your foundation, like the chain. It's not even a foundation. It's just how many chains, or do you have to go in a magic circle, magic ring? What do you have to do? The first step. So that is in itself not the first row or round. So on this, it says chain 146. Loosely. Then it tells you row 1. That's the first row. And it says single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each remaining chain. You should have then 45 chains. Or 45 single crochets. And then you chain 1 and turn your work. The second row is single crochet in each single crochet. Chain 1, turn your work. Now here's where row 3 comes in with, there's the brackets, the parentheses. So it says single crochet in each single crochet. Chain 4 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1 on the following row. Turn your work. I don't know why it's telling me that in row 3. I'm reading this as I'm doing this with you. but it's giving you the instructions for the next row. The parentheses is really just telling you a few extra stitches or things you need to know. It's not hard. It's the asterisks that get a little confusing. So say on this blanket, row 4, it says skip first single crochet. Then there's an asterisk. And it says half double crochet decrease over the next 2 single crochets. And then in that asterisk, there is the parentheses or the brackets. It said to work half double crochet. It's telling you how to do that stitch. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to do the half double crochet decrease over the next 2 single crochets, and then half double crochet in next 8 single crochets, 2 half double crochets in the next single crochet, half double crochet in the next 2 single crochets, 2 half double crochets in the next single crochet, half double crochet in the next 8 half double crochets, half double crochet decrease as before, half double crochet in the next 2 single crochets, repeat from the asterisk 5 times. Now you don't need to know all that other, you're not making this thing, so all that stuff doesn't really need to be like, oh my God, I need to know this. No, you don't. All you need to know is everything that's in the asterisk to the end of the asterisk. That's what you do, and it tells you how many times. This is saying do it 5 times. That's how, you know, you're understanding things. Like for me, I'd see the asterisk and I'm like, I don't know what that means, and I'm not even attempting this. But it's really just take your time and really look at that pattern. It won't be that hard. I hope that helps. And now, so I kind of wrote this down. So maybe this will make more sense about the brackets and the parentheses. So if you have, and I just wrote something so that maybe it'll make sense. So if you chain on the, say at your beginning, and it says chain 40. And in the second chain from the hook, you're going to double crochet 10. Okay? And then in parentheses, it says double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And then it tells you 14 times. So that would mean you're going to do the double crochet 10 times, 10 double crochets. When you get to the bracket, you're going to double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And you're going to do that 14 times. And then after that, 1 double crochet. That would equal 39 stitches. Because you had 40, but you skipped that first one because you went to the second chain from the hook. So you would have 39 stitches. So that's how those brackets, what that means. And that's confusing to people. Also, asterisks, that means you're going to repeat a whole section. So it's a little bigger than just a little bracket because that's a small piece. But it might be a whole section that you have to repeat that whole section from the asterisk to the wherever you see the next asterisk. All that stuff in between, you're going to repeat. And then go on from there into your pattern. Those are the things I think that most people struggle with when they're trying to read a pattern. That's what I really think is the most confusing part. So at least for me, that's how, and I'm looking here, but that's, I don't really see anything else that is really complicated. You know, it's only as complicated as the pattern would be. But this is very easy, you know, once you figure out, because I know me, I used to look at the brackets, be like, I don't know what they're talking about here. And I didn't want no part of it. I was like, it's too much. I can't even, my brain cannot compute this at all. I'm not doing it. And I would just not do it. But it's really not that hard. So I really hope that helps everybody. Leave me a comment if, you know, you found it helpful or you did not find it helpful. Please let me know. And that's all I have for tonight. Please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.